How's it going, you guys? So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the top reasons why eating a healthy diet might be making you feel low energy and making you feel like crap. So first of all, if you're feeling low energy, make sure you check with your doctor because it could be a thyroid problem, it could be diabetes, or it could be anemia or something like that. Now, the tips I'm going to share with you in this video are very likely to completely reverse diabetes or anemia, but that all depends on the individual. Definitely get a check with your doctor first, okay? Things like B1, folate, vitamin B12, iron, those could be signs of low energy, or those could be causing low energy. So first of all, let's dive into it. So the thing about healthy diets is that eating healthy is meaningless. And the mainstream idea of a healthy diet is complete bullshit. And pretty much everything that people think is healthy actually contributes to feeling low energy and feeling like crap. And the only benefit you might get is losing overall body weight. But that typically includes muscle and includes body fat at the same time. And that's not something you want. It's not healthy to lose body weight if that includes muscle mass. Okay, unless you're extremely obese and it doesn't matter. But ideally you want low body fat but higher musculature because having more muscle mass and strength is actually one of the main factors in surviving past the age of 60. Okay, the older you get, the more muscle mass is actually correlated with survival. So one of the main reasons why people lose muscle mass along with their fat is because they're eating a low-calorie diet. That's also one of the main reasons why most people suffer from low energy, okay? So eating low calories is going to cause low energy because in order to have energy, your body needs caloric energy, okay? And so for me, I never really was a fan of counting calories until I realized that I wasn't eating enough calories a lot of the time. And so I started to realize I need to track my calories to make sure I'm eating enough. Not only calories, but protein as well. High quality protein. So I'm going to get into this. So look, if you're watching this video with low energy, trust me, okay, I was there. I had low energy, I had irritable bowel syndrome, I had psoriasis, and a whole list of problems. At first it was just low energy and other mysterious issues, but then the more plants I ate, and when I went vegan for a year, I realized I had irritable bowel syndrome and psoriasis, which I cured, which I'll talk about in a little bit, and I have videos on that too. Search my channel name and psoriasis and you'll find it. But I felt low energy because I was following all the same bullshit guidelines that everyone else was. So the main mistake is eating low calories. What are some other ideas that people think are healthy? Eating more leaves, eating more raw greens, okay? We're cows, guys. We're cows, okay? We're ruminant animals, right? We need to eat our raw greens. We need to eat our vegetables, okay? We need to eat our grass, okay? Because we have multiple stomachs, like cows, okay? Because we chew the leaves, we spit them out and regurgitate them like ruminant animals. Despite the fact that we have 3 stomachs, we still have to chew and regurgitate. That's why, raw greens are healthy. Now, clearly I'm being sarcastic. And it's insane to me how many people, they don't realize that human beings are not meant to be eating raw, high cellulose plants like that, okay? Even cooked, it doesn't make too much sense. For me, that was a main cause of my irritable bowel syndrome and psoriasis, on top of the whole grains that I was forcing myself to eat for so long. Eventually got to the point where I was pooping them out undigested. Now, crazy enough, most people, including at one point, I thought that was retarded. I thought that was, I say retarded in a sense of like distorted logic. There's an alternative meaning for retarded, so don't get offended. But I thought that was the dumbest thing ever for somebody to say, oh, whole grains are not good for you. and it could be causing your skin condition, right? But when I removed whole grains and I did an autoimmune paleo diet and I saw my skin clear up within 3 days, I immediately was like, whoa. And that's because what you eat can actually trigger your immune system to cause systemic inflammation and causing everything from psoriasis to skin problems like eczema, psoriasis, and acne. And so it's a real thing, guys. Food intolerances are a huge thing. And when you're filling your body up with plant foods that are not easy to digest, like some of them are, some of them are not. Things like fruits and potatoes are easy to digest, and they're a high source of caloric energy. Raw greens and whole grains, but especially raw greens and vegetables that don't provide any caloric energy, tend to be very hard to digest. Do you know what fiber is? Fiber is simply another word for indigestible plant matter, really. And so if food is indigestible and doesn't give you caloric energy, why do you think human beings would have ever eaten that throughout evolution? Okay, ruminant animals, they can actually digest raw greens and digest leaves and things like that, digest grass, but they have multiple stomachs, and they spend all day chewing and regurgitating and digesting their food, okay? They go through all that work all day grazing in order to produce caloric energy. In order for any organism to survive, it has to be able to produce caloric energy from its food. Why in the world would a species of organisms live its entire evolution striving to eat indigestible foods? That does not make any sense. So if you really think that raw greens and things like that are healthy for you, be my guest, go out to your local bush and try eating some damn leaves. Okay, but unless you're a cow or a ruminant animal, that's not likely to be successful. And that's probably the number one reason why you feel sick and you might have an autoimmune condition and be low on energy, because you're trying to force yourself to eat indigestible foods that you're not meant to eat. And so not only can that trigger food intolerances, which can lower your energy and can possibly be causing thyroid conditions like Hashimoto's thyroiditis. It's actually very common. Of course, the mainstream consensus is that it's incurable and it's genetic and all this crap, and doctors don't have a cure. Meanwhile, people are healing on elimination diets, like I did for my psoriasis, but it can be bogging down your energy. And also, because you can't digest these plant foods, it's just taking up space in your stomach that would otherwise be free for highly caloric dense foods, such as red meat, even whole grains. If you can digest them, at least you're getting caloric energy, and also minerals and things, as well as phytic acid, which is either harmful or beneficial. It's debatable. But yeah, if you stop eating foods like that and start eating foods that will give your body caloric energy, then you're going to feel much better, okay? Believe me when I say it's more likely that human beings survived so many years eating highly digestible foods like potatoes, bananas, berries. Of course, these foods look much different over the years, and they've changed to be more digestible now. But human beings never were probably ate highly caloric energy foods for most of their evolution. They didn't waste their fucking digestive capacity on indigestible herbivore foods. So, I'm telling you right now, if you start eating more red meat, you start eating less whole grains, and definitely less salad greens and things like that, you're going to feel a lot better, okay? And if you want to eat a carb-based diet, you need to be eating potatoes, and you need to be eating fruits, okay? Sweet potatoes and tubers. But if you want to be like how I was for an entire year and I felt amazing, you can eat a low-carb, fat-based diet. I literally ate red meat and butter and steak trimmings for an entire year. And I competed in Muay Thai and trained vigorously for Muay Thai about 9 months into eating a virtually zero carb ketogenic diet, and I felt like I had unlimited energy because I forced my body to start pulling from its own fat stores. So anyway, eat more red meat because it's going to fortify your body with the nutrients that it needs. That's a huge thing that most people take away from their diet when they want to eat healthy. Why do people do that? Because the mainstream idea is that animal foods are bad, red meat is bad. Well, you're the one feeling like crap. So if it triggers you when you hear that and you think that it's bullshit, keep ignoring it and keep feeling like crap. But if you really want to turn your health around, I recommend at a minimum, like honestly, if I'm being real here, 2 pounds of red meat every day, 2 pounds of ground beef, or 2 pounds of steak or something like that. I do ground beef because it's cheap and I can make a variety of different things with it. 2 pounds of red meat minimum every day. Trust me, that will give you enough calories on its own. And then if you want to eat some jasmine rice or some potatoes or some fruit on the side, then be my guest, okay? Now, at an absolute minimum, I would say 1 pound of red meat per day. But that's not going to give you the guaranteed results that 2 pounds would. So it doesn't really matter what type of diet or if you want carbs or fats that you follow. What matters is that you get the red meat because that's what fueled human evolution for so long. All the megafauna that we hunted out of extinction into extinction. This was a groundbreaking transformation in my life, okay? When I started to eat a minimum of 2 pounds of red meat every day. Nothing I tried worked better than this, okay? And it's because that's the fuel that human beings are meant to be consuming. And so there's that. The other thing is minerals, okay? What's wrong with the mainstream's idea on minerals? Well, human beings need at minimum 3 grams of sodium per day. And what is the main symptom? What are the main symptoms of hyponatremia? Okay, dizziness, low blood pressure, or positional low blood pressure, where you may have normal blood pressure on a reading, but when you stand up from a sitting position, you like almost pass out. Feeling tired and fatigued, feeling confused, feeling irritable, insomnia. This is another game changer for me is when I started to get a minimum of 3 grams of sodium per day. Actually, for me, it was 5 grams. I felt so much better, and then I noticed that drastically improved my sleep. Well, why would low sodium cause such a crazy issues? Because sodium is the main regulator and mineral balance for all minerals in your body. Magnesium, magnesium and potassium mainly, okay? Without enough sodium, your body starts to waste potassium and magnesium. So all these benefits associated with taking magnesium, okay, they're not actually going to provide you much benefit if you can't retain that magnesium through adequate sodium levels. And so when I started consuming enough salt every day, I had this chronic feelings of breathlessness, like air hunger, hyperventilation syndrome. I had insomnia, I had mental confusion and irritation and all sorts of problems, and they cleared up when I started getting enough salt. But at the same time, I also started eating enough red meat and other things, but that was a huge game changer, okay? So read the Salt Fix if you are, worried about your blood pressure and stuff like that, and you have all these questions like most people do, because most people are brainwashed by the mainstream consensus. Read the book The Salt Fix to understand what's going on with all that. So, those are the main reasons why a so-called healthy diet can cause, fatigue and feeling like crap. And the other one, again, like the indigestible foods, okay? Gas and bloating. If after 2 weeks, all the gas and bloating from extra fiber should go away. Some people, they just cannot digest certain plant foods to save their lives. And so when you have trouble digesting plant foods, which by the way, plant foods are, they're actually the foods that ferment in your gut, okay? So when people say, oh, red meat, it rots in your intestine, they're full of crap, okay? Because plant foods are actually digested by bacteria. Okay, that's why ruminant animals have multiple stomachs, because they need enough room to ferment. It's fermentation. A lot of people feel extremely bogged down and lethargic when they fill their body with these foods that are very hard to digest. Okay, when your digestion is compromised, your energy will be compromised. Okay, so doing an elimination diet, like for me, the autoimmune paleo diet was huge because it removed pretty much all of the hard to digest plant foods, and it left me with only the calorically dense plant foods and the red meat and things that would provide my body with enough energy and nutrients without the digestive problems and pretty much any autoimmune condition that could be triggered by certain pesticides, naturally occurring pesticides found in certain plants that plants produce on their own to prevent predators, including humans, from eating them. So not everyone's going to have to eliminate large amounts of plants. The main thing people need are calories, enough red meat, enough protein, and then enough salt. And red meat will also provide you with vitamin B1, iron. It'll provide you with B12, folate. And if you eat the 2 pounds a day, like I mentioned, then you'll get plenty of the majority of those things. So what's another thing that typically bogs people's energy down? So a lot of people, they consume refined grains and refined foods. I mean, obviously, that's a huge one. But if you're trying to eat a healthy diet, you've already cut those all out, hopefully. Another thing is vitamin supplements. You take multivitamins. A lot of times your body has trouble absorbing some of those. And the other thing is, the main thing here is that those isolated vitamins and minerals, outside of their whole food form, science has only uncovered like less than 100 essential vitamins and minerals from these foods. And science only started to uncover these essential vitamins and minerals 100 years ago, within the last 100 years. And so it's very, very new, like the science of vitamins and minerals. We don't really know enough about how these vitamins and minerals interact to be prescribing multivitamins and things. If you're eating a whole food diet that has at least 2 pounds of red meat in it every day, you're going to be getting the majority of the vitamins and minerals that you need, as long as you're not consuming refined foods, because refined foods actually increase your body's need for a lot of vitamins and minerals, especially B vitamins and things. So there's synergistic nutrients found in whole foods, okay? A lot of these synergistic nutrients we're just now starting to discover, certain polyphenols and things like that. And so we also know that these vitamins and minerals require a certain balance that are found in whole foods in order to work effectively. For example, omega-3, so if you have too much omega-6 and not enough omega-3, that can cause things like heart disease and inflammatory disorders and depression and all sorts of problems. You need a proper balance of omega-3 to omega-6. So when we consume too many vegetable oils that are high in omega-6, it throws off the balance and increases our need for omega-3. Or if you consume too much vitamin D without enough calcium and vitamin A, that can cause demineralization of your bone. So we know, and in nature, vitamin D is found in foods that contain calcium and vitamin A. For example, an egg. The egg shell contains highly absorbable calcium. The yolk contains vitamin A and vitamin D, and K2, all of the nutrients required to metabolize calcium, whereas most multivitamins only contain vitamin D, vitamin A, and then maybe some calcium, maybe. So what I'm saying here is multivitamins are not a good idea, and they can be robbing your body of energy through improper ratios of different vitamins and minerals. But if you have a deficiency, by all means, take an isolated vitamin and mineral supplement. But honestly, I think those are the main things as far as like eating a healthy diet. Remove the so-called healthy foods that are actually probably not so healthy. Eat red meat, which most people avoid when they try to eat a healthy diet. Get enough sodium. And then cut out, try to limit your carbohydrate intake and eat more healthy fats. Something like the Eat Fat, Get Thin plan by Dr. Mark Hyman. As long as you eat 2 pounds of red meat a day, combine it with the rest of his principles, you'll have a really healthy diet. I think lowering your carbohydrate intake, if you're overweight, is a good idea. I think if you're active, you can get away with a lot of carbohydrate. But a lot of people are eating way too much carbs, and a lot of those carbohydrates are either refined, which are causing blood sugar spikes that dip and ebb and flow and can rob you of energy, or they're eating carbohydrate foods like brown rice that can bog down your digestion. So, being mindful of that, I think another good beginners program, probably the best beginners program that emphasizes all of these principles, would be the Primal Blueprint by Mark Sisson. The new Primal Blueprint, the newest one he released. That one's really good, and most people start to feel amazing when they start to emphasize those principles. So, let's see, what was the other thing? So, yeah, I'm not even presenting the science behind this because it would take so much longer. Most people are going to be calling hearsay, but look, if you want to feel like everybody else in society who think that they're being healthy, keep doing what everyone else is doing. But if you want to be like me, somebody who followed that crap, felt like crap, and, developed all sorts of issues, psoriasis, irritable bowel syndrome, hyperventilation syndrome, drinking too much water and just pissing it all out because I don't have enough salt. You want to be like that, go ahead. But if you actually want to feel good, then, start to at least research some of these ideas I present in this video. So that is some of the reasons why a healthy diet might make you feel like crap, okay? Because people eat unhealthy, they eat enough calories, they're not eating all these undigestible plant foods, they're eating calorically dense foods, so they're giving their body enough energy, and they don't limit red meat, so they're getting at least a bit of real food that they can digest. And they're not limiting sodium. The reason why I want to make this video is because I was noticing how fatigued I felt for a long time without the sodium, without the red meat, and without the calories. And then I would see some of my friends who are like overweight or whatever, some of my coworkers, and they're like overweight, but they're so happy and they don't have any problems and they're motivated enough. And why are they like so happy and feeling good? And why is it that a lot of us health people go through a hole of orthorexia and we feel like crap? And it hit me. I was like, wait a second. These people are eating enough fucking calories. It's probably the main reason, the first main reason. The other one is that they're retaining enough minerals because of the high carb intake, but also they're not limiting sodium. And so more calories and less indigestible crap to bog down their digestion is basically the main thing. Anyway, leave your questions down below. Talk to you all next time.